Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is June 20th, 2025, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching natural gas continue to make a very nice uptrend this past week, over 17% on the upside. Looking at today, no major economic events scheduled. So looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, the British pound finally gets that bounce. And looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and NASDAQ really just unchanged for the week. And as we look at commodities, we're watching oil back on its highs, of course natural gas, and gold actually sliding lower. And looking at the stocks, JP Morgan and the sector, the bank sector showing some tremendous strength. And looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin remains unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD. Now it's not doing a big bounce, but so far the Euro is taking an initial bounce. And so is the GBP. And that was the one that I wanted to discuss because that was one of the major assets that did sell off this past week, but making a little bit of a comeback. Now I do anticipate it'll be a 50% comeback. So just above 35, maybe 10 would be my next guess. And that happens to be also previous support, subsequent resistance. So that's our next bet there. Now looking at the commodities, looking at oil, all right, because it's really just been very volatile. And you can see that it's at 74.89 right now. It's consolidating towards the upper end of its range after having that spike earlier this week. Now, relatively, I would have imagined this would have gone much higher, okay? I would have gone to $80. $100. Remember, when we went into the war in Ukraine, we were trading at $130 a barrel. We just made maybe a 20% gain in oil this past week, so it's not that crazy of a move relative to what's happening in the Middle East. So keep that in mind as we're looking at oil. Now, natural gas has had a beautiful run up this past week, okay, as that has just been a bona fide upwards trend from the beginning of the week. We gapped up and we went. There was nothing, there was almost no pullbacks to really enter it. Could have really just chased it up as it's had a really nice move to the upside. Now looking at gold, the opposite direction, took a complete slide and we're back on supportish levels. So keep that in mind as we look at gold here. Now looking at the US markets, all right, they did gain yesterday just a little bit, but nothing really to write home about. I mean, we're looking at a 4-hour chart now, but you can see that it's pretty much tapered off, okay? On a weekly chart, you can see that it's been a very quiet week relative to what we've seen in the previous weeks, especially after those tariff things. But looking at this week, it's really unchanged, okay? And the FOMC this past week was nothing, okay? Didn't really do much either. Now looking at the NASDAQ also, just been trading in a range, looking at a daily chart. However, Microsoft is on its record highs at $480 a share, and the bank stocks are showing some strength, okay? JP Morgan almost back to its all-time record highs of $280 a share. So that's showing some strength. And that's really important to keep this on the radar. And Bank of America also, also gaining a little bit yesterday. Okay, it does get a little bit more volatility than the JP Morgan does sometimes. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now looking at the regular stocks that we generally follow, some of the high-tech stocks, they're not doing much. Okay, if we look at Apple, just trading sideways, trickling down. Okay, a little bit. Facebook, close to its highs, but just really unchanged day to day. And if we look at the other one, AMD, which had a nice run up this past week, okay, holding its gains, or not retracing. NVIDIA just trading just slightly higher. So markets are not doing fantastic in terms of volatility, in terms of massive movements, because it is summer trading after all, okay? So just keep that in mind. And lastly, Bitcoin is none's the word, okay? It's really been in a very tight range, and also not just in a tight range, it's been really unchanged day to day, okay? When we're looking at a daily chart, you can see the past 3 days has been trading within $500 range, okay? For a $100,000 asset, that's nothing, okay? Really is from week to week, almost done nothing. So keep that in mind as well. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.